So, we've all gotten pretty used to chatbots, right? But the next big step in AI is something way more powerful. We're talking about AI agents. These aren't just systems that talk to you. They're designed to take action and actually accomplish complex tasks. Today, we're going to break down how you can build one yourself using OpenAI's brand new toolkit.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What exactly is an AI agent? Well, at its core, it's a system that intelligently gets things done. And that could be anything from a simple one-off goal to a really complex open-ended workflow. The key difference here, the big shift, is moving from just having a conversation to taking real action. It's all about doing.
So the million-dollar question is, how do you even start building one of these things? I mean, you can't just write a prompt and have it appear. The answer from OpenAI is something called AgentKit. They're positioning it as this modular, all-in-one toolkit for building, deploying, and then optimizing these agents from the ground up. AgentKit breaks the whole process down into a really clear three-step journey. First, you build the agent's logic, its workflow. Then you deploy it, get it out there so real users can actually interact with it. And finally, you optimize its performance, making it safer and smarter over time. So let's walk through each of these pillars. All right, let's start with the fun part, the build pillar. This is really where your idea starts to take shape. And the main tool you're going to use here is the Agent Builder, which is basically a visual canvas for designing your agent's brain. To make this a little more real, let's imagine you're creating a homework helper. A student asks a kind of vague question. The first part of your agent could actually reframe that question to make it clearer. Then another part could figure out, okay, is this a math question or a history question, and route it to a different, more specialized agent. And the cool part is you designed this entire logical flow not by writing code, but by connecting blocks, visually. This chart gives us a fantastic breakdown of what an agent is made of, its anatomy. To give it intelligence, you use OpenAI's models. That's the core brain, right? For skills, you use tools and guardrails, which let it connect to other services and, importantly, prevent misuse. For knowledge, you hook it up to vector stores, which are like its external memory. And finally, to give it logic, you use logic nodes, which control how it actually thinks and acts. So what are these building blocks or nodes, actually? Well, the most basic ones are the core nodes. You've got a start node where the user input comes in, an agent node that holds the AI model's instructions, and even note nodes just for leaving comments for yourself. Then you have data nodes. These let you mess with the data as it flows through the system, like changing its format or saving it as a variable to use later. Now, this is where it gets really powerful. Tool nodes are like your agent's hands and feet. They let it do things like search through files, run safety checks with guardrails, or connect to other apps. And then you've got the logic nodes, which give it that control flow. You can add if-else conditions, loops, and a really, really critical one for safety, a human approval node, which literally pauses everything and waits for a person to say, yep, go ahead, before it continues. Okay, so you visually designed this complex, intelligent workflow. Now what? Well, it's time to get it out there so people can actually use it. And that brings us to the second pillar, deploy. The main tool for this step is called ChatKit. Think of it this way. If the agent builder is where you create the agent's brain, ChatKit is how you create its face. It's a customizable chat interface that you can just embed right into your website or app. It's the bridge between your user and the agent you just built. And when it comes to deployment, you've basically got two paths. The recommended integration is the easy way. You just embed a little chat widget, and OpenAI handles all the tricky backend stuff, like hosting and scaling. But if you need more control, there's the advanced integration. This is where you run ChatKit on your own servers, which gives you the power to connect it to any agent backend you want, even when you built yourself. It's that classic trade-off, simplicity versus total control. So your agent is built, it's live, but the job isn't over, not even close. This leads us to the final, and you could argue the most important pillar, optimize. This is all about being responsible, making your agent safe, reliable, and always getting better. And it is so critical to see this quote directly from OpenAI's own documentation. They are being totally upfront here. Even with all the safety features, agents are not foolproof. They can and will make mistakes or be tricked. This just hammers home the point that safety and optimization aren't just nice-to-haves. They are a core, ongoing part of this whole process. So what are these safety measures they're talking about? The source gives a really practical checklist. Things like using structured outputs to limit what the agent can say, keeping that human approval step turned on for sensitive actions, and using guardrail nodes to check for sketchy user inputs. It's also about steering the agent with super clear instructions and examples. Each one of these is like adding another layer of defense against things going wrong. And beyond just safety, this whole step is about getting smarter. AgentKit gives you tools like Evals and trace greeting. These let you systematically test how well your agent is doing. Trace greeting is especially cool. It lets you review the entire step-by-step log of an agent's decisions to find exactly where it went off the rails. This creates a feedback loop so you can constantly improve it.
So there you have it. That's the journey. You build the brain visually, you give it a face to talk to the world, and you act as its guardian to make it safer and smarter over time. This is so much more than just prompting a model. It's a complete creator's toolkit. Which really just leaves one big question. Now that you know how they're built, what complex, open-ended task would you give an AI agent to solve?